We all know that what you do in the gym is important, but what if I told you the real secret to getting bigger and stronger happens in the 23 hours you're not lifting weights? Today, we're diving deep into the science to count down the 5 biggest mistakes you're probably making that are secretly sabotaging all your hard work.
So let me ask you, does this sound familiar? You are crushing it in the gym. You're consistent, you're pushing heavy weight, you're doing everything right. But when you look in the mirror, the progress just isn't there. It's maybe the most frustrating feeling in fitness, and I'm telling you, the answer probably isn't to just train even harder.
And that's because of this one crucial truth. You don't actually build muscle in the gym. The gym is where you create the stimulus. It's like placing an order with your body. The actual repair, the rebuilding, and the growth, that's the delivery. And it all happens when you're resting and recovering. The real secret isn't training harder, it's recovering smarter.
Okay, to really get this, you just need to understand one simple concept. Your body is in a constant state of tug-of-war. On one side, you've got muscle protein synthesis, or NPS. This is your construction crew building new muscle. On the other side is muscle protein breakdown, MPB. That's the demolition crew. To actually grow, all you have to do is make sure your construction crew is working harder than your demolition crew. The mistakes we're about to cover, they basically fire your construction crew and give the demolition team a massive bonus.
So, you ready? We've gone through the research to find the 5 most common and damaging things you can do to your gains outside the gym. And we're going to count them down from 5 to 1, based on just how much damage they do. Let's kick it off with number 5.
So, coming in at number 5 is this two-headed monster, chronic stress and skimping on your sleep. And look, I know we hear about this all the time, but this isn't some fluffy wellness talk. The science is absolutely clear. Your stress levels and your sleep quality have a direct and frankly devastating effect on your muscles.
And the numbers, well, they're pretty scary. Just check this out. One single all-nighter, one bad night of sleep, can tank your muscle-building ability by 18%. That's almost a fifth of your gains gone. And stress? One study found that people with high stress recovered their strength almost 3 times slower after a workout. And since recovery is growth, you're just grinding to a halt.
So why? What's actually happening here? Well, it's a hormonal nightmare. When you're stressed and sleep-deprived, cortisol, that's the stress hormone that literally eats muscle for fuel, it shoots up. At the exact same time, your testosterone, the main hormone for building muscle, plummets. You've basically created the perfect internal environment to break muscle down and stop new growth in its tracks.
All right, let's move on to mistake number 4. And this is one almost everybody is guilty of without even realizing it: the dehydration deficit. We're not talking about being lost in the desert here. We're talking about that mild, everyday dehydration that's become totally normal for so many of us.
Now, to get why this is such a big deal, you have to remember what muscle is actually made of. It's not just dense protein. Your muscles are about 75% water. Think of them like little water balloons. Water is the environment where every single chemical reaction for repair and growth takes place. No water, no growth. It's really that simple.
And here's the kicker: it doesn't take much. The research is shocking. Losing just 2% of your body weight in water, which for most of us is just feeling a little thirsty, can crush your muscle protein synthesis by 20%. A 20% hit to your gains, just because you didn't have a couple more glasses of water. It's wild.
So here's how it works. When your muscle cells are full of water, they're physically swollen and plump. Your body reads that swelling as a green light, an anabolic signal that says, hey, we're good to grow. But when you're dehydrated, those cells shrink. And that sends the opposite signal, a catabolic red alert that tells your body to stop building and start breaking things down to conserve resources.
Coming in hot at number 3 is a trap that so many of us fall into. We all want to get leaner, right? See those abs? But going too extreme with your diet is one of the fastest ways to slam the brakes on your muscle-building engine.
Now get ready, because this number is truly terrifying. In some studies where they looked at athletes on aggressive diets, up to 43% of the weight they lost wasn't fat. It was their hard-earned muscle. Think about that. You grind for months to build that muscle, and you can lose nearly half of it just from cutting your calories too hard.
So what's going on under the hood? Well, your body has this little energy sensor called AMPK. Think of it like the emergency fuel light in your car. When it detects that energy is dangerously low, like in a huge calorie deficit, it flips out. Its job is to keep you alive, so it immediately shuts down all non-essential, energy-hungry processes. And guess what's at the top of that list? Building new muscle. It literally blocks the master on switch for growth, called mTOR. Game over.
All right, we're at number 2, and this one might sting a little. The runner-up for the biggest muscle growth killer is that post-workout beer, or any alcohol, really. I get it feels like a reward, but physiologically, you're basically taking the little flame of muscle growth you started in the gym and just dumping a bucket of water on it.
And look, the data doesn't lie. This famous study tells the whole story. They found that drinking alcohol after a workout, even if you have a protein shake with it, slashed muscle protein synthesis by 24%. And if you skip the protein and just have carbs with your drink, it plummets by a catastrophic 37%. You literally just canceled out more than a third of your workout.
And here's the most important part. This isn't about empty calories. Alcohol acts as a direct poison to the muscle-building process. Remember that master growth switch, mTOR? Alcohol walks right up to it and flips it to the off position. It doesn't care how hard you trained or how much protein you drank, the signal is blocked. Period.
So here we are. We've talked sleep, stress, water, food, alcohol. What could possibly be worse than all of that combined? What is the #1 undisputed champion of killing your gains? You might not believe this one.
The #1 biggest mistake you can make is taking high-dose painkillers like ibuprofen after your workout. Yeah, I'm talking about those common over-the-counter NSAIDs. It seems so responsible, right? You're sore, so you pop a few pills to manage the pain. But the science is brutally clear. It is the single most effective way to make your workout completely pointless.
I want you to just stare at this number, 41%. Taking a high but common dose of ibuprofen after training reduced muscle protein synthesis by 41%. Let that sink in. You are literally flushing almost half of your potential gains down the toilet. You're doing all the hard work for just over half the reward. It's just insane.
How is that even possible? It's because we've been taught to think that inflammation is the enemy. It's not. That post-workout soreness, that's a good thing. That inflammation is a critical signal. It's your body screaming, hey, we took some damage here. We need to send in the repair crew and rebuild this area bigger and stronger than before. And what do high-dose NSAIDs do? They block that signal. They cut the phone lines. The message to rebuild never gets delivered.
Now, to be clear, dosage here is absolutely everything. The research is very specific. Low doses, around 400 milligrams, didn't seem to have this negative effect. So this isn't me telling you to never take a painkiller for a real injury. This is me telling you to stop taking high doses just to manage the normal muscle soreness that comes from a good workout. Embrace that soreness. It's the feeling of progress.
Okay, let's wrap this all up in one place. Here's our final ranking. High-dose painkillers are the clear winner, or loser, I guess, at a 41% drop, followed closely by alcohol and crash dieting. And even the little things, like being dehydrated or stressed, can still rob you of nearly a fifth of your progress. And remember, these things stack. A bad night's sleep and a few post-workout drinks, you might as well have stayed home.
So let's boil it all down to 3 simple, powerful rules. Rule number 1, don't kill the signal. That workout soreness is your friend, not your enemy. Rule 2, master your environment. Sleep, water, and food are not optional extras. They are the raw materials for growth. And rule number 3, the most important one. Remember, muscle may be earned in the gym, but it is only ever built outside of it.
So I'll leave you with this. After all that sweat, all that effort you put in under the iron, are you creating the right environment for that work to actually matter? Are you giving your body a reason to grow? I really hope this helped you out. If it did, do me a favor, hit that like button and definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the science of getting stronger. We'll see you in the next one.